Welcome back to the JCPod, partner with Stare Down Sports. I'm your host, Jaden Chandler Parnell, and wow, college basketball is over. We just witnessed probably two of the most dominant teams in the history of collegiate basketball to win games last, Sunday and Monday. So we got a little bit to talk about there. Amazing sports weekend. WrestleMania happened this weekend. Seems like it was massive news. Won't be talking about that too much, won't lie. If at all, who am I kidding? We probably aren't talking about that at all, for being real. But UConn, Purdue, going to touch on that. South Carolina, Iowa, going to touch on that. Got some NFL news to talk about. And then, it's going to be a fun little day. Maybe talk about some baseball if we have time at the end. Won't lie to you. I'm still a little bit under the weather. I would say I'm like 85 to 90% healed to where I'm almost fully better. I got sick like Friday, dude. Shit was awful. It's been like, I can't tell if it's sinus infection or if it's just sinuses being whack. So I won't lie, today probably won't be 40 minutes, it'll probably be 25 to 30 because throat's still a little bit hurt and I can't breathe out my nose at all, but still wanted to get on because wow, last night game was awesome. So without any further ado, we are going to talk, before we get there though, we're going to talk South Carolina, Iowa real quickly just to touch on the immortality that South Carolina has, and then we're going to touch on the immortality that UConn has created for itself. Like I said, without any further ado, let's hop right in. Just want to talk quickly about the South Carolina women's. Because seriously, they undefeated. I forget if it's 2016 or 2012. One of those two. We're going to go with 2012. I believe that's the year. First undefeated team since 2012. And honestly, it's going to be funny because this game kind of went eerily similar to how the UConn game went, which is wild to think about. Both these teams, not both these teams. Both these games went eerily similar. I just need to my fault. I need to find the final score. That was one thing I forgot to pull up. Final score, 87-75. South Carolina pretty much pulls away at the end. Eerily similar what happened with UConn, except UConn pulled away a little bit quicker. Yeah, Caitlin Clark had 30, dropped 30 and 8. Camila Cardoso had 15 and 17. I won't lie, what really killed Iowa was the offensive boards. Iowa just could not grab the glass for shit. So the 6'7" Cardoso, I won't lie, holy shit did they have some tall-ass girls. 3 girls over 6 foot in the starting lineup for, they had 6'2", I think 6'7", and 6 foot. And the tallest girl that Iowa had was a 6'2" girl. So, size eventually just got them over the game. As the game went on more and more, the more and more offensive rebounds became pretty much a thing. And, it just got ugly quick. So, shout out to South Carolina women. They were able to have a really big game, honestly. And they just played amazing. I mean, they got the revenge against Iowa. Iowa beat them last year. They get the revenge this year. Shout out to Dawn Staley, who has lost, I believe, 3 games? It's either 3 or 7. I'm 90% sure it's 3 over the last 3 years. Dawn Staley has been insane. Let me check this out. Pretty sure they're like 134 and 3 or something like that. Here we go. South Carolina record the last 3 years. Because they went... Where's this at? And it's showing me all football. Jesus Christ. They make it so hard to look stuff up sometimes. I can't find it. I just know it's like, I seriously think it's 3. I think she's lost only about 3 games in 3 years or something like that. She has over 100 wins, 3 losses, and then she just had a perfect season this year. Dawn Staley is absolutely insane. Those South Carolina girls, absolutely insane, so shout out to them. Just wanted to bring that up because I did watch that game. That was really impressive. And then it leads sort of into this game where Purdue, they were down by down at 6 by half, and then they end up losing by whatever it was at the end of half. Edey drops 37. It doesn't matter because he basically gets no help from anybody else. 60-75 is your final score. Edey has 37 and 10. Tristan Newton drops 27, 5, and 7. Tristan Newton becoming the, I believe he's the Final Four player of the year, or however, I don't know how they announced, what is that, player of the year, Final Four player of the whatever. That's pretty much, he got the award. Most outstanding player, that's the award, my fault, I couldn't think of the name. So most outstanding player of the Final Four goes to Tristan Newton, who had a really amazing game, I'm not gonna lie. Stephen Castle, most likely going to the NBA. He played really amazing this season. It's just, I won't lie. Nothing against Purdue. We'll talk about UConn in a second. Purdue, 1 for 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 for pretty much 6, 7 from 3. Shot 0 threes pretty much, which I won't lie. As a better, killed me. I'm glad I didn't give out any bets. I would have gave out a lot of 3-pointers for Purdue. I will lie. I had a lot on Gillis threes. I had a lot on, I had a lot on Gillis threes, a little bit on everybody else, but man, that got ugly quick. By the way, I want to pre-apologize for if there's like a lot of pauses or cuts. I won't lie. Like I said, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm still battling some shit though. Like, I'll admit, right now I just had to pause because my eyes are beyond dry as shit. Yeah, I apologize for that. It's been, like I said, it's been a rough few days, man. I was looking forward to this Final Four literally for a while, and then it turned into me being pretty miserable this whole weekend. But yeah, moving forward, like I said, Purdue pretty much hit no threes and got pretty much nothing from anybody else. Cam Heide had a really cool dunk. Only points he had, I mean, like 1 for 1, 0 for 2, 0 for 5, 2 for 3, 4 for 12. Man. I'm not going to lie. I had Tristan Newton and Braden Smith have over 20 assists. That was heartbreaking they didn't get that. I was hoping Andrew Hurley would score. Had fun a little bit on that. Won't lie, betting it didn't matter too much because I had a lot on the UConn future, so I took some fun stuff. Ended up coming out a lot on top with the UConn futures. But the main thing I want to talk about the UConn, man, is they are undeniably great. They're going to go down as probably the best college basketball team ever with this back-to-back historic run they had. And I mean, this isn't me being biased, man. I mean, Purdue stood. I don't want to say they stood no chance, but they had to play their A+ game to win that game, and they probably played A-B game, I would say. At best, it was an A game where I'm talking 90% A game. Like, they barely got an A. It was one of those situations where the teacher damn near felt bad. She's like, you know what? You got an 89. I'll bump it up to an A just to keep your grade better. It was one of those situations for me. But, like I said, UConn, I don't think UConn played the best game. I just think they played a really good game, and they just dominated. I mean, I don't lie, they kind of did the opposite of what they thought they would do. I thought they would let Purdue shoot a few more threes after... they hit 10 threes, Purdue did, in the game previous against Tennessee, but I thought they might maybe let them shoot a little bit more, hoping that they just get an off night shooting from Purdue, but they did the opposite. They actually said, you know, we're going to let Edey dominate us, and then by the time of the game, they went to the point where they're like, all right, let's let the guards shoot a little bit more. I think most of the guards were pretty much cold. I'll admit, I was talking to a buddy, he said this Purdue team could beat maybe the UConn team last year. I don't lie. I don't know, man. The UConn the last 2 years has just been so damn dominant. Like, we thought the team last year was good. This team somehow was even better. And they had, I don't want to say less NBA players, but they probably did. I mean, they still have NBA players on the roster, but my God, man. What UConn did this year was truly, truly special. Like I said, first team to go back-to-back since the Florida Gators did it. Florida Gators did it with relatively the same team. This team lost 5 of their top scorers. And they brought in some new guys off the transfer portal. They just had guys that played last year that were stepping into newer roles. Like, I'm not a completely different team, but this is a pretty brand new team. And to see what UConn did to Purdue was just absolutely stunning, man. I mean, I'll admit, I was watching the game, watching what was happening to Purdue, and I wasn't even shocked. Like, I expected Purdue to lose by about 10 to 15, no joke. I was hoping they would keep it closer. I even bet for it to keep it close because I'm like, man, if Purdue wins this will be a truly special moment. But they just ran into arguably the best, like I said, best college team in college basketball. Because seriously, man, like I said, my buddy said that he thought this Purdue team could maybe beat UConn's team last year. I don't know, man, with how fucking dominant UConn's been. I mean, they won every game by like easily 13 points. Another game where they won by 13 points. I mean, they won every game by 20 pretty much, except for the last 2 games where they played arguably the 2 best opponents UConn's played all season. And Alabama, well, not all season, I won't say that, in the tournament at least, against, when it comes to Alabama. The way Alabama played, that's probably the best Alabama's looked all season. And they lost by 13. Purdue, Edey drops 37 pretty much by himself, gets no help from Purdue, and they lose by 15. Like, if they got a little bit more from the guards, they probably only lose by 6, which is crazy to think about, because it's like, yeah, regardless, Purdue was probably losing that game. Like I said, this is more on UConn than it is Purdue. I've seen a decent amount of people just blasting Purdue and talking about Purdue. This has nothing to do with Purdue. This is one of those situations, like, in a loss, it has more to do with the other team winning than it does with you losing. Like, I genuinely think that, I'm going to say it again, UConn's going to go down as immortal. This team is absolutely amazing. Donovan Clingan played a really, really good game. I thought he played Edey well for what he did. I mean, the bigs had foul trouble. Samson, what's his last name? Samson Johnson, I believe that's his name. The other big for UConn, he fouled out. Klingon had 3 or 4 fouls, and they still won by 15. Like, it's unreal. Like, the guard play just dominated Purdue's guards. The size was a huge thing, too. Like I said, similar to what the South Carolina game, I mean, they were just killing Purdue on the boards, got a lot of easy putbacks. The size made Purdue's guards uncomfortable. I saw Gillis get blocked on. I won't lie. The most money I probably had tonight was on Gillis to make a 3 when it comes to my solo bets and not the futures. I'm talking about, like, money I put on, not the payout. That boy got blocked on his first 3, and I'm like, oh, shit, he ain't shooting another 3 the rest of the game. And then he shoots another 3, and he overshot the shit out of it. Braden Smith got one of his shots blocked. Lance Jones got one of his shots blocked. I mean, you could just tell the size bothered the hell out of Purdue. I mean, it got to the point Painter was playing Colvin and Heidi extended minutes. And it's shout out my boy Rowan. He's like, I don't even know. He's like, I've never seen this 23 kid, who's a freshman, by the way. And then he hit, which is hilarious, by the way, because he'd sent me that text, and like 2 or 3 minutes later, he had the putback dunk. And then Rowan's like, oh my God, this guy should be starting. And then literally 3 plays later, Edie throws Cam Heidi a ball, goes right through his hands, and Rowan, never mind. Hilarious that shit, because each time he was texting me, I'm like, this boy a freshman, yeah, and he's looking to get better. And then the bad plays happened, like, this freshman, man. It was tough, man. Like I said, Purdue was throwing everything and the kitchen sink at UConn in between the size and the dominance, man. They just stood no chance. I mean, genuinely, they just dismantled Purdue with this. I've never seen Purdue look, they looked uncomfortable. And even Edie, like, I was watching Edie work. It's like, man, it doesn't matter because the guards just can't get anything going. That's what the Purdue needed, a big game out of the guards, and between Heidi, Smith, Lance Jones, and Lawyer, they only got 17 points. Brandon Smith had 12. Jones had 5. I mean, Jones didn't even shoot the ball, and this guy, I'm not going to say shoots the ball every time he touches it, but there's a good chance, like, if he's getting the ball, he's like, hey, I'm looking to score. He did not look really to score at all. Their plan was to feed it to Edie nonstop, which it pretty much did. I mean, Edie, like I said, 15 of 26. It's just tough, man. They just ran into immortality and a brick wall. If you look at UConn stats, Caravan 2 for 7, Klingon 5 for 8, Spencer 5 for 12, Castle 6 for 13, Newton 6 for 13, Diarra 4 for 6. I mean, you can see the difference. They actually had UConn had contribution. I don't know why that sounded so weird. Contribution all the way around versus Purdue had very little. Braden Smith, the only one with assists on Purdue's team. Meanwhile, everybody but Diarra, who got real minutes, had an assist. That's another key of the game. I mean, you saw the ball movement was insane. Unreal. That's probably where I'll end it there. Like I said, UConn now, back-to-back national championships, immortality. South Carolina gets another national championship under Dawn Staley. Yeah, it's crazy. I think UConn is officially the best basketball program in the country. I mean, for the past 25 years, they've been dominant. They have 3 natties now in my life since 2011. UConn is 6-0 in the national championship game whenever they get there. Yeah, that's insane. Shout out to Purdue, though, for real. Purdue had an amazing season. Zach Edey's going to go down as the best Purdue Boilermaker probably to ever put on the uniform. And it sucks. It's probably, I'm not going to say this is Purdue's best chance to win the tournament, or win the natty, but this was probably one of their better chances to win the natty, and they unfortunately had to run into the juggernaut that is UConn. So it's to the point where, man, tough, man, because that Purdue team for the past 2 years has had a really special group, and it's not going to matter because the last 2 years we've seen arguably the best college team in college basketball. Yeah, like I said, shout out to Purdue, man, for real. They had a really amazing season. Zach Edey's probably going to go pro. Mason Gillis, I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty heartbroken because this is a Purdue team where I've truly fallen in love with. Because this is realistically, like, this was Purdue's probably only chance to win a national champion. I don't know if they're going to get another dominant. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer. They're a little bit smaller guards. They finally, and it's just like as much as I love them, they are just smaller guards. So it's hard to win with smaller guards, especially when you play teams that have 6'6" NBA type guards. So just looking at that, they're going to be older next year, which will be helpful. Trey Kaufman-Wren's probably going to step into the 5, if we're being real. So it's going to. My guess for the starting lineup, real quick, I'll end it with this, and then a quick look ahead at the Natty for next year, and then we'll finish with some football news. My prediction for each starting lineup for each team, real quick, going into next season now. UConn is going to be a little bit harder to predict because I don't know who's going pro and who's not. I would assuming Klingon's going pro. I think Spencer's a senior, so he's gone. Castle's for sure gone. I don't know what's up with Newton. So this UConn team's going to get a little bit of an overhaul. I look for Samson Johnson. He's probably going to become a stud once he figures out the game a little bit. He's still young and he's still learning some of the in and outs. I truly don't know who's all going to leave because of this whole COVID situation and everything. I don't know who's actually all done. I just know Klingon's probably going pro, and then Newton might go pro, not 100% sure. Castle for sure going pro. Cam Spencer, like I said, I forget what's wrong with him. I forget if I think he's a senior, but I can't remember. That might have been his last game. Yeah, Spencer, graduate transfer, concludes his collegiate career. Yep. Is he going to the NBA? I actually have no clue. Due to his size, I think he might be able to stand at least a decent chance, but I don't know if he's going to be I'm not going to say he's a superstar, maybe role player. I don't know, though. So, like I said, there's going to be some changes there. Donovan Klingon, like I said, probably going pro, and then I'll talk about those other two. When it comes to Purdue, Trey Kaufman-Rand's probably going to be their starting center going into next season. Zach Geedy's going to become a pro. Braden Smith's probably going to still start. Lance Jones, his collegiate career is officially over. Man, shout out to Lance Jones, though. He's a really special addition to Purdue. He was one of the main reasons they were able to get this far, truly, so shout out to him. His career's probably over. Mason Gillis, another guy. Man, bro. For real, shout out to Mason Gillis. Let's see. 0 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 of 15 times this guy's hit 2+ threes. Made me so much money at the end of the year. Another senior is going to be done and pretty much playing basketball. Shout out to you, my boy. Again, I want to apologize for all these cuts. Like I said, this under the weather bullshit is awful. Hopefully by next Thursday I'll feel a lot better. But yeah, shout out, like I said, Mason Gillis, he's probably gone. My guess for the starters, assuming, I don't know. It'll probably be Trey Kaufman-Rand, Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, Cam Heide, Miles Colvin. Basically, if they want to go super small. Ethan Morton, another guy who's going to be done. Caleb First, probably will be a guy who gets some minutes next year. Yeah, but I mean, it's just Purdue, man. It truly does suck because I'm not going to lie to you. As a fan, I just don't know if they're ever going to get back to this point again. It's been 40, 50 years. This felt like the team to do it, and they're losing a lot. They're losing two to 5 of the main contributors on this team. Like, even Ethan Morton. Ethan Morton was a great defensive guy that they were able to sub in here and there. Yeah, it's just over now. I don't expect Purdue to get back to the spot, which sucks because the last 2 seasons were the first time in a while I could be like, okay, Purdue actually has a national championship roster. Right now, it's most likely going to be man, it's fun to watch them, but it's going to be one of those things where I just cheer them on now as a fan and just. I just don't think I don't think they're going to get back anytime soon because I mean it took Edey being dominant for them to get to that point. They just don't have the guard play right now. I mean, unless they get NBA type guards. I don't know. I don't know who next year is going to take them to this spot because Edey was their main carrier. Lance Jones helped out a lot. Both those guys are gone. Gillis was a good support. He's gone. It's going to be tough, man. But yeah, like I said, to end this portion real quick. Teams win all next year. Duke plus 1,100. Don't take that at all. Kansas plus 1,200. UConn plus 1,500. Bama plus 1,500. UNC plus 1,500. Houston plus 1,500. Those are your favorites pretty much. Purdue 30-1. There's not even a point, man. And that's all I want to read. Obviously, with college, there's so much has changed. There's going to be a lot that's going to be happening over the next coming days. Or coming days. Jesus Christ. We got months till this shit's back. Next coming months, there's going to be a lot of changes and everything. But like I said, shout out to South Carolina. Shout out to UConn, man. But yeah, without any further ado, we're going to end this with some NFL news. I'm not going to lie. Probably going to burn through this because I've been feeling. I'm to the point now. My throat hurts a little bit. Can't breathe out of my nose at all. But yeah, shout out to Dan Hurley, man. He truly is the best. And then, by the way, after I finish the NFL news, I'll talk about some plans for the upcoming week since we ain't got no football. We got no playoffs right now. But yeah, I'll talk about plans after I do some NFL news. Like I said, going to NFL news. Lamb says he's committed to the Cowboys still, even with the holdouts. Like, he's still looking to get more money. Logan Ryan retires after 11 seasons. Really solid quarterback. He's been all around the league. He was drafted by the Patriots in 2013. He was a Super Bowl contributor in 2014. He played for the Bucks, New York Giants, Titans, and the 49ers. So shout out to him, man. Awesome career. You're able to win a ring, obviously, as well, too. Makes it even better. Mayo, they're talking about rebuild. Patriots are obviously in a rebuild. I'm curious to see if their quarterback's going to play next year. Probably going to be a lot of draft talk Thursday, now that I think about it. Chiefs superfan. If you remember, Chiefsaholic, that guy that we've brought... he's been, I don't want to say a staple of the Pat McAfee show, but they brought him up a lot. When it comes to what I don't know what I was just trying to say there. I was trying to find a way to say when it comes to what he's up to, maybe. I don't know. What he's up to recently, though, Chiefs superfan ordered to pay $10.8 to ex-bank teller. I'm assuming that's all the money he robbed. That's a shit ton of money. $10.8 million. Yeah, that's going to be a bit expensive. Moving on, though. Dalvin Cook, guys. Dalvin Cook is still a free agent, I guess. I wonder where he's going to sign. I don't know. I don't know where he's going to sign, honestly. I think he's going to sign somewhere, but I think his days of being a one are done, which is wild. It's just wild how quickly the NFL can change. Jesus Christ. You guys hear this shit? I mean, I'm battling right now. And the worst part, too, is my throat feels fine. It's just been... It was sore the last few days, and all of a sudden it's just one of those things where I have so much mucus just built up in there, I guess, that I'm on the verge of just... dying every time I talk. I mean, you hear that? Just about happened. The Pats signed Kyle Duggar to a 4-year, $58 million deal. Eesh, that's a lot of money, boy. A lot of money. Could rise to $66 million and includes $32.5 guaranteed. They originally had the transition tag on him in March, and then this allowed him to negotiate with other teams. But at the end of the day, it sounds like the Patriots wanted him all along. Let's see. Dolphins are pushing to sign Odell Beckham Jr. That'd be very fascinating. I don't know. I don't know how... With how many issues they have on defense, though, I don't know what this move would really do for them. Somebody said Beckham and Cousins are the best in the NFL for scamming teams of their money. That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know how good of a move. I mean, that won't be a horrible move, obviously, but with how many issues the Miami Dolphins have on defense, I don't know. That's not like a move where it's like, oh my God, they're Super Bowl contenders now, but it's probably a good veteran presence. The Panthers are signing defensive tackle Derek Brown to a multi-year contract extension. 4 years, $96 million. That's an amazing move. Keep your guys around. This guy's really, really good, too. 2022, first round pick. Oh, I was thinking of him. He's only 25 years old, too. I forgot how young he was. Since they lost Brian Burns, it makes a lot of sense they're going to keep somebody, so I'm glad they kept this guy, because he's been a stud for them. Got All-Pro in 2023 for them. And it's the Panthers, man. You got to keep some guys around, especially because some of them are not a lot of athletes are going to want to stay in Carolina right now, so you got to keep them around while you're still building it up. By the way, so apparently Rashee Rice was driving before the crash. They were trying to make it sound like he wasn't driving during the crash, but I don't know. It sounds like Rashee Rice is actually going to be in a lot of trouble, though, regardless, because it was his vehicle, so he did have a lot of shit there. And it sounds like they did try to flee the scene, so I'm going to still wait because there's still a lot more to come out, but sheesh, yeah, it sounds like he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Apparently, too, when it comes to Stephon Diggs, by the way, and his deal, they did some weird stuff with the years and everything where they, voided it out. So now, even with the trade... Now, I guess it's only for a second-round pick makes sense because pretty much Houston picked up a lot of money to say, hey, you're pretty much getting voided and he's going to be a free agent in 2025. So this is... the Texans moved $3.5 million to guarantee that Diggs had in his contract beyond 2024 and moved it up to this season. The veteran wideout will now make $22.5 million, and he can become a free agent in 2025. Very, very fascinating, very interesting. Makes you wonder what's going to go on with that situation. Wonder if he's going to stay for 2 years. Dallas Mayor wants Chiefs to move to Texas. What the hell? Yeah, the San Antonio Chiefs. Is that what's going to be happening? Dumb. I don't even know. I'm not even going to entertain that. I don't know why it's a thing. That's pretty dumb. Calvin Noy signed a 2-year deal worth $9 million with the Ravens. Shout out to him. Mailata becomes the highest paid, or maybe not the highest paid, becomes one of the highest paid guards ever, with a 3-year, $66 million deal. Well earned. well earned. He definitely has been one of the best offensive linemen. Let's see, Lions match 49ers 3-year, $12 million offer sheet for Brock Wright. So it looks like Brock Wright is staying a Detroit Lion. I don't know. It's a lot of money for Brock Wright, but I mean, with what the Lions got going on, they probably do want to keep him. Missouri voters reject stadium tax for the Chiefs Royals. So I'm assuming that means that they're looking to move their stadium. Or I think that I forget what the situation was. I believe it was something where they wanted to get money somehow from somebody in a way that would help acknowledge long before the final tally that so they knew long before that it would probably fail. Okay, so it says voted down a sales tax measure that would have helped fund a new downtown ballpark along with... Okay, so yeah, so pretty much they were trying to do something to add money to basically renovate the stadium and probably get it with taxpayer money and stuff like that. And Missouri's like, no, we ain't doing that. You guys have won... Pretty much they're like, yeah, you guys have won Super Bowls. You can pay for it yourself. Jason Kelce did appear at WrestleMania, so I guess that is the one thing that we will bring up on here. A little cool. I saw the clip. It was a kind of cool appearance. Won't lie. Those are some big-ass luchadors. Little creamy, too. Big, tall, white luchadors. Look kind of hilarious. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is turning to the Chiefs on a one-year deal. Really good to keep him back. Dad for the depth. I wonder what his rule's truly going to be, though. Because I just think he's pretty much... I don't want to say he's fully phased out, but he didn't get too many plays over the year, especially when McKinnon came back and Pacheco was healthy, so I'm curious to see how long he'll stay around. I think that should do it because we talked about a lot of this already. Chiefs has added Wentz as Mahomes' backup. I remember being just befuddled by that, like, oh, they're actually doing that. But yeah, that's probably gonna do it today. I won't lie to you. We'll talk. I just feel I won't lie. I still don't feel the best. I'm hoping that if I'll feel 100% better by Thursday. Let's see if there's anything like big storyline we missed, and I'll end it with that. Dan Hurley, like I said, he's gonna become immortal. He is immortal now. It's crazy if you think about what he said 4 years ago. He's like, get us now. Get us now. Glad I got you now, Dan Hurley. I love you. No joke. I forget what it was last year, if it was plus 2,000 or what it was, but UConn's won me a shit ton of money. I had a future on UConn last year. Had a future on UConn this year. It's truly special, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's truly special what UConn was able to do, and I'm glad I was able to be on both sides of it because this is something I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life. Like, I'm gonna remember being able to tell my kids, like, hey, I was alive when UConn went back, when the best collegiate basketball team ever, UConn Huskies, went back to back. Because I'm not gonna lie, these last two teams, arguably, I mean, they didn't have a single game within double digits. They made a hard tournament look easy, in the great words of Dan Hurley. They made a hard tournament look easy, and it's absolutely insane and special. Apparently, the Hornets are interviewed G League Coach of the Year, Lisa Harding. This is massive news just because of the fact that we might actually have a woman coaching in the NBA. Oh, she had a long career with... Oh, decade-long professional career. Sorry, I was reading something. The Phoenix Mercury selected her with the number 1 overall pick in 2007, and then sold to the Minnesota Lynx WNBA All-Rookie team that same year. She had a 5-year run at Duke, ACC Player of the Year, the Nancy Lieberman Award, and Naismith Player of the Year honor. So this is somebody who has some accolades and knows their shit about basketball. This would probably be a really good move for the Hornets. Hornets have been absolutely dog shit. Won't lie. Women's title game, most watched hoops game in 5 years. The game also shot up 12.3 million between LSU and Iowa. Was absolutely insane and awesome. Cat might return for the playoffs before the Timberwolves. I guess that's something we can talk about. The NBA, this was a big one. Calipari going to Arkansas on a 5-year deal. That is absolutely massive. Absolutely insane. I did not think he would actually go there, but hey, that opens up the job for Kentucky now. And the last thing we'll end with, shout out to, I'm looking at the score right now. You see it right there. Cody Rhodes finished the story. I don't watch wrestling that much. I don't know. I'm touched. I'm not gonna say like I don't watch it because obviously because of Pat McAfee I'm touched in a little bit, so I'll see some stuff here and there. But I just wanted to bring that up because it popped up. But yeah, that's probably gonna do it for today. The plan moving forward. Thursday we might just recollect a little bit on what's happened with the sports season so far. We might just use this week. I'm not gonna say like I'm not gonna act like I'm gonna take this week off, but we'll probably use this week just a little bit, like as a little bit of a catch up on everything, what's been happening in the sports world since March Madness. It seems the NBA playoffs are starting. I don't want to say momentarily, but within April 16th, I believe is the play-in, if I'm not mistaken. Most teams have about 3 to 4 games left. 3 games for the Lakers, for example. The Warriors, they have 4. So yeah, most teams have 3 to 4 games left. That's going into the end of the season. We'll talk NBA playoffs. I'll at least keep up with the NBA playoffs and talk about it, what's going on here and there. Because yeah, I'll admit I haven't touched on it in a bit, so it's probably good to touch on it. Going forward, though, NFL news. There's going to be a lot of NFL news, pretty much. Like, a lot of NFL news and stories. I know, I forget. Damn it, what was one of the first stories I wanted to do? I think it was like the Dak Prescott. I have it written down. I just can't remember what it is. It's written back a few pages. I think it's like the Dak Prescott news story of, like, what's going to happen with him. Maybe, and I know there's some, I talked about, like, Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. The story of the Chicago Bears being the next Detroit Lions, potentially, and having a 2 or 3 year run where they're going to be good here soon. A lot of stuff like that I'm going to be talking about, and a lot more, I'm not going to say, I guess, like, best way to put it is, as of late, I guess a lot of the podcasts have been, a lot of the shows have been where you watch it, it's like, alright, if you watch it, the later you watch it, the more, like, out of date it is, the worse it sounds. Like, for example, like, if you watch, today's episode won't nearly be like that, because we talked a lot of, like, stuff that's finished and everything, but, for example, last Thursday, I gave up my bets and picks for the Final Four National Championship. If you watch that now, I mean, it's pretty worthless. The game's already over and everything. But moving forward, I'm going to have more stories and stuff like that to where they can last all off season. So, like, for example, I'll do something, say, not this. This is not happening this Thursday, by the way. This is just an example of something I'm doing soon. Why the Chicago Bears are going to be great now with Caleb Williams and their new ownership. I'll do a story like that, so then if you watch in, like, July, yes, it might be a little bit out of date because it's 2 months old and I haven't been updated since the draft, but you're still going to be able to get a lot of the main points and be like, oh, okay, so this is what we're going to be looking for. A lot of that. I'm for sure going to do every week now. I'll look forward to it every team. Like, what to expect from this team going into next year. We're going to do a lot of that. A lot of exciting stuff. I'm going to hopefully slowly, I know, because we just, best way to put it, we've been on the NFL highway for a long time. Got off the pass, got some gas, stretched the legs, got some snacks while college basketball's been happening. Since the Super Bowl, pretty much. Ended February 12th, we've been just getting gas in the car. Slowly collecting snacks, slightly seeing some stuff about NFL. And now slowly we're going to slowly start merging back on the highway here soon and go full speed NFL. I will be having my boy Rowan on somewhat through the offseason, talk baseball, because like I said, I didn't talk any baseball today. It's still too early in the season for me to kind of probably speak on it expertly enough to where I'd feel comfortable. I just haven't paid attention to too much yet, so I'm going to get my boy on hopefully soon to pretty much keep us updated with baseball. Hopefully that happens. A minimum I want to do it like once a month. I'm going to try to do it twice a month. There's going to be a lot of exciting stuff happening because now that officially college basketball is over, a lot of I'm not going to say experimental stuff, but there's a lot of stuff I'm going to be trying to do working with for the channel. Like, for example, next year, we're going to have a new NFL football screen that I'm going to be working on either making or finding. Today was the last time we're going to use this hardwood. You probably won't see this hardwood next year. We're going to hopefully maybe get a new one next year. A lot of upgraded. I'm going to maybe hopefully build in some segments coming up here soon with little graphics and everything. A lot of exciting stuff I have planned that I want to do. And now that college basketball is officially over, it's time to implement it. So that's pretty much what we're going to be looking forward to in the upcoming weeks. Like I said, though, thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Really do appreciate it. This is kind of more of a catch-up episode. Talk a little bit what's going on in the NFL, and then pretty much just catch up on the amazing national championship games we bought, as well as informing you guys on, hey, what the plan is this summer. Because, yeah, really looking forward to the summer. Have a lot of fun stories I can't wait to talk about. A lot of fun stuff I can't wait to add to the show. Just slowly going to have to do it over time. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for support. Really do appreciate it. Again, I am sorry for how messy it was today. Still not feeling the best. Hopefully going to be completely over this sickness Thursday. And then by next week, Monday, we're going to be hitting full steam ahead on NBA playoffs and NFL stories and offseason stuff. Can't wait. NFL draft upcoming soon. That's, I'm pretty sure, the next big sporting thing. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for support. See everybody back in this feed Thursday.